This is the fun side. This is Queen Keeks Show.
Hey everybody, we back again for another All Elite with Keeks and Friends. I'm here with my main work husband, Drip. Even though I am mad at Drip, but he knows why.
We're not doing that here right now. We can do that another time. But yeah, we're back, and we probably picked the right time to start doing this show.
Yes.
Again, in Dallas, we said last week you would come up with the idea for this show instead after Double or Nothing, and then look what's happened since Double or Nothing. It's just been a crazy week in AEW specifically, wrestling in general as well. But hopefully we don't have to talk about. We don't have to talk about that man and his. But you know, we'll get into the shit we actually want to talk about. You didn't hear it from
me. It came from Drip.
I'll be talking about that elsewhere, unfortunately. I think, but yeah. So let's take it to Dynamite last week in California. The first time they were ever in California. Crazy.
Run the picks, Banks. Shout out to Banks. He's the producer for this show.
Yeah, on the ones and two tonight.
On the ones and twos. So you're going to hear me say Nick's Banks, not Nick's Graham this episode. We're going to get into it. Rampage. Last week of Rampage. We're going to pop it off. It was CM Punk and FTR. The, what you call them?
The Acclaimed and the Ass Boys?
No, I was calling them the Bret Hart Boys.
FTR. And yeah. I mean, that's basically what they were like. I think they wanted to go like, they had those shirts, Sons of Hitman or whatever, or Sons of the Hitman. It's sort of like, I think they plan to be a faction going forward, but obviously we'll get into Rampage and CM Punk's announcement, but currently we're on Dynamite. They open it up with a 6-man tag. When CM Punk jumped into the crowd during the entrance, I thought something was up then. I watched it Thursday afternoon. I'm like, why is this man jumping into the crowd still? Like,
right.
The fuck you doing? Like, it's but then they have a match. It seems, I think that it reports he got injured during the match. You can tell because like he got on the top rope and fell off. Then he later did the whole like, I'm sorry, kind of like, when he went up to the top rope again. So you could see like in that match he was
fragile. We saw him a little fragile at Double or Nothing. So
I think that's just more him not being able to hang with someone like Adam Page. No pun intended. But it's we've seen that, some of his best matches I think have been more with the technical guys, whereas like Heyman Page can run around, he can be technical too, but he's fast, he's strong, his style's all over. But I mean, there was that spot where like he went for a drop kick and like he could barely get up, and then this whole match was kind of a mess too. I mean, the Gun Club, they aren't ready yet. Who knows if they ever will be? They're decent heels just to get like beat up. Same thing with Max Caster. He's good at drawing heat, which is what he's supposed to do. And Anthony Bowens, I know you're a fan. Is kind of the worker of the group anyway.
He's a great technical wrestler,
which is the unfortunate part about him being the injured one right now. Kind of slowing their momentum. But what do you think after when the three of them are in the ring and they're cutting promos, and then CM Punk asked for the Forbidden Door to be open, and who walked out?
The best hair in the game. The best hair in the game, Tanahashi. Came in with the Mary J. Blige No More Drama hairstyle.
He came in. Yeah, I mean, he came in like, just like,
he did the whole flip.
Yeah, which I'm guilty of myself. But no, I mean, I think CM Punk, probably the collective wrestling verse as a whole, wanted Okada, CM Punk. We instead get Tanahashi, CM Punk, which didn't seem bad at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was your initial reaction when they because they were kind of building up that as a Forbidden Door main event in a way? I mean, it kind of makes sense. Tanahashi again is a legend in Japanese wrestling, and CM Punk and him, I don't think they ever really crossed paths over the course of their careers.
I kind of figure it may have been him because he has mentioned that he does want to wrestle against CM Punk. Mm-hmm. I was a little disappointed because I wanted Okada versus CM Punk, which is, I mean, that's what I wanted, but I'll take Tanahashi too because he's a legend too. I like him. I love him. Best hair in the game. I do also want to say though, I want to mention back to the match when you said about Gun Club because they improved from when I seen them the first time. I could tell that their dad is working with them. So they improved a little bit because on certain things with CM Punk, you could tell that they are better kind of protecting him a little bit. They did a good job at doing that, but they still have ways to go. But they did pretty good. Max Caster did a lot. Of course, he did majority of the carrying in the match.
Yeah. The thing is they just, you can see like they might have the potential to be, again, like just decent a heel tag team one day. It's just the rhythm of the match seemed off as a whole. And that's the thing with like six-man tags a lot of times. We saw like the great 6-man tag with House of Black and that triangle with, but again, that's two great teams. And all six of them are great workers. This is, two guys who are, I think the taller one of the Gun Club, Colton, he's the one who just started wrestling when AEW started.
Right.
So again, and Max Caster again is a guy that's kind of AEW's not and potential be a pillar one day, but he'll be a guy I think similar to like in a Miz. Maybe he'll just be around for a while as long as the company's still around to like draw heat, do whatever. Maybe play face sometimes. Like I think he probably also be a good face because
I'm trying to remember which one is the oldest one.
The Gun Club, it's the smaller one, I think. Austin.
Okay.
I think he's the older one. Which
is funny. I mean, Billy Gunn was a good wrestler himself, so I'm pretty sure they'll be in good hands once the experience because he wasn't a bad wrestler.
No, and that's the thing. So they have
shadow of the DX.
They have the basic sound so far. It's just the rhythm of the match just seemed off, and like CM Punk, whether he was injured the whole match or during like in the middle of it. And FTR, I mean, whether you like them or not, I've never really been a fan since they were the revival in NXT. Yeah, we can say that for another day. I ain't got time for all them headlocks and fists. I ain't got time for,
What's your beef? What's wrong with FTR? I love FTR.
I always thought they were boring.
I get it. Yeah, Bret Hart,
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Shout out to Banks.
See, and I don't mind them paying homage. Like that's the whole thing, and not to like bring up like dick riders or like dick eating and all that. Like everyone's a fan of someone. It's true. Mm-hmm. Everyone pays homage. Like people are shitting on Jason Tatum right now for like him having like the Kobe outfit or the Kobe wristband. Like the same people are going to the gym being like, acknowledge me, bro, putting their ones up in the air like real tribal t-shirt. Like settle down. Settle that you're doing the same shit while calling out other people for like just fucking relax.
What's the meme? The dick eating is crazy right now.
It's everyone does though. Everyone does it. I do it. Banks does it. You do. Everyone does. Everyone's a fan of someone to a certain extent. Like that's their number one fan.
Literally.
Like, so just cool it on that. But then when Bret Hart like that's their version of yeah. Is it OD? Yeah, a good amount of time it is, but. They can do what they want now. Let them do it. But let's move on to the next part. Let's
move on to the next one. Next one, Banks. Hit it. Hit the next one.
So I don't know what to really say.
Promo.
You worded it perfectly. It was just like okay already. Like
we've seen it before. Listen, I get that, yes, he dropped some F-bombs, but we've seen it before. We've seen it with Brian Pillman. We've seen it with CM Punk. We've seen it with Stone Cold. Like, we've seen it before. So, I mean, I get everybody was excited because it was something of this new era. They haven't got that yet, so I let them, but y'all gonna have me for it, but to me, it was corny. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. Yeah, it was corny
to me.
is Shania Twain, like that don't impress me much. Like
it doesn't.
We've seen it before. You had said the primary examples, Brian Pillman with the language of it, and CM Punk with the look who's been passed over instead of me, like in all that aspect. And because he overacts, it like defeats the purpose, since it's the same thing with Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston is a good talker, but I don't believe what Eddie Kingston is selling me. Like when he had that promo with the bottle a few weeks ago, right before Double or Nothing, I'm like, yeah, I ain't buying this because you're going too far. Yeah. It's too soapy, it's too like dramatic, which is kind of the detriment sometimes in wrestling. But yeah, the whole time, I didn't watch any wrestling really the past few days until last night. So I just seen everyone talk about this. And when I actually watched them like, yeah, this isn't like a promo I'll remember, except that we all were like, wow, he really said these things. He called Tony Khan a fucking mark. And he said, hey, this big merger is going on. I don't want to shake things up. It's like, oh, okay. Like, because the Warner Media and Discovery merger has been talked about, which might have a future in AEW and how it goes about its business. But yeah,
and another reason why it's not interesting to me, because Tony Khan said on the interview last week, he can use the frustrations in his promo. Mm-hmm. He said it, so it's just like, I expected this anyway. So we've seen it already, but I'm not gonna knock the new babies that's coming up because it was exciting for them. They ain't had Brian Pillman.
Well, this is AEW's version of that.
Yeah, so they got MJF. So of course everybody was excited, but I waited until the hype died down to re-listen to what he was saying. I'm like, yeah, this was kind of corny, but okay. Mm-hmm. You're being dramatic, my guy.
Yeah, he is right about, again, the ex-WWE guys coming in, because like that's been the knock on AEW, is that they were so anti-WWE in the start and how they were going to build up the indie guys. And then we kind of seen the Joey Janela's, the Jack Evans, a few people leave. The Brian Cage situation where it seems like once Ring of Honor gets going, he might be a guy there. Once, the Andrade started showing up and so on and so on. But then, not to say again, like CM Punk came back, but again, at CM Punk, he's the star power. He's the one guy who no one ever thought would come back to professional wrestling, and he came back to this company. So
my thing was, what you doing pocket watching folks? Like, and then you gonna bring up Christian? Christian ain't did nothing to nobody. What you like some of the people that he mentioned? They're not gonna take less. Chris Jericho, Christian. Mm-hmm. Who else he said? He said CM Punk, Bryan Danielson. Of course he's gonna them. What you saying? Like, their resume speaks for itself. Like, they've been here almost more than 20 years. Like, they've been doing this. They was doing this when you was a kid.
He did have the good line though about
don't bring Christian up next time though.
He did have the good line, I think, where he said, like, they'll say I'm a good worker once I'm gone. Like, you know what? We actually slept on MJF as a worker. Like, in terms of like how the one thing about wrestling Twitter I hate the most is people like, when this went on, we really didn't appreciate it. It's like, some of us did, and some of us were like, nah, it was trash. You just stop doing the shit for cheap likes and all that. Like, not everything's got to be recycled. Not everything was great at the moment. Some things have aged better than others.
Right.
Some things were great in the moment, and we were aware of it and like haven't forgotten.
You're right. And I also want to say this, like MJF, he's good, but he does more promos than he do matches. Like, you can count on two hands his matches. Like, he hasn't had a lot of matches.
But that's the character. And that's the character, though, is the guy who's like, when he has to wrestle, it's like, oh shit, I gotta wrestle now. Like, I gotta survive, because he's, again, the dastardly heel. But him and Darby had one of my favorite matches last year at Full Gear.
Yep.
And him and Sammy Guevara had a good match earlier in the summer. Again, we weren't going to expect a match with him and Wardlow. Him and CM Punk, they had two pretty good matches.
He had a good match with Cody, too. I give him that. And Jericho. Hush, Drip.
Just hearing that name makes me just like I get triggered. Like,
adrenaline in your soul. He should.
But no, again, they cut the mic and then they don't acknowledge him for like the rest of the show, which was pretty smart. But it just plays up the whole like this is story. Get it? Like, we're letting this happen. And that's why I'm like, that's why I really don't care too much to be like, ooh, is he actually in the league? Because, like,
right.
We all know, again, he showed up to the pay-per-view. Like,
exactly.
He's playing in part. He probably is pissed about certain things, but he's, like, willing to go along for the rest of it, which is why Sasha and Naomi is different. They're like, fuck this. We don't want to do this. They haven't been back since.
And the E is proving their point. So, this, like, people keep comparing that, and it's no comparison. This one guy that's pocket watching other people and like, I want the same thing as Christian. And I'm like, why you bring Christian in this? The Christian is the real veteran here. What is you saying?
It's that young arrogance, the entitlement of,
I know what it is. I ain't going to say it because I don't want to get canceled.
What, white privilege or what? Like,
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to get canceled.
Then let's go next.
Next, Franks, next. The next one, Miro is back.
But who do you come back against, most importantly?
Johnny All Names.
Oh my God. Ugh. Seeing
Johnny
him.
Nitro, Johnny Elite, Johnny...
John Morrison, Johnny Impact.
Morrison. What's his other name?
Johnny Mundo.
Johnny. Hey Johnny. Whoever passing out the bag, I'm getting. That's Johnny.
He's Johnny Blank Space at this point. Just like fill it in.
Johnny the Hustler.
These two matches in AEW, he's been hustling the fuck out of them. I can tell you
said, "I'm gonna get the bag by any means."
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Johnny said, "I don't care if it's NWA. I don't care if it's MLW. Whoever booked me, I'm with it. I don't care."
But no, like, they had the whole thing. He's got an open challenge. I'm like, okay, this could be interesting. I had no idea it was going to be.
I thought it was going to be Viking Code, but I guess not.
No, I was actually like, who would this be? I'm like, who would come back that's been gone? I'm like, I maybe could thought it could have been a Forbidden Door person. But then
me too. That's what I thought too.
But like someone from, because again, they still have less than 3 weeks to build the show up. Mm-hmm. And we'll kind of get into that towards the end. But Miro shows up. He cut the promo before, God's champion, the Redeemer, and all that. And he's a good promo. He's a better promo with this character. And he showed up in the match. It was just a decent match. Just kind of just beat up Johnny Elite, and it's probably back to the TNT title for him, especially with Scorpio Sky possibly being injured, as we'll get into But no, it's good seeing him back. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe he wins the Battle Royal next week, and we get him and Moxley, which is, the match. Don't forget, he took Moxley's spot in the Full Gear Eliminator tournament. Mm-hmm. I definitely see that happening now because that's how Tony Khan thinks.
Yeah.
But then it's gonna
hate things.
Yeah. But then it's gonna be like, then he'll lose, and people will be like, "Oh, see, you just wasted Miro." It's like, no, it's like they're building up John Moxley, Tanahashi. Again, we'll get into that. So, Miro's back. I ain't mad. I always liked him as a wrestler. The character at times in WWE, going from the Rusev Day, and all that, I never fucked with it. And then him as the best man when he showed up was just like stupid. Then once he became like God's favorite champion, that in the Redeemer, that was better. That fit him a lot more.
We was around during the trenches. Oh my god!
I mean, the best man was like, you really just have this guy be, no offense to Kip Sabian, but like a bodyguard to a jobber, really? Like, and Kip Sabian, someone who what he's been doing, which is nothing. But
I knew they was going to build him up eventually. It was just patience. That's all.
Yeah, but Miro's back, and that's it. But I don't think I want to talk about the Athena promo.
We have to.
Yeah,
I didn't tweet about it for a reason because I have to talk about it.
Talk about it. I'll let you go ISO for a minute.
I won't. How do I say this? She's from my city. She's from Duncanville. So I'm gonna keep it like this. I do see what everybody was coming from as far as the whole when it comes to like
Hundy, not honey. Hundy is
when it comes to like when other black wrestlers face another black wrestlers, how they try to hey, speak your slang and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Tony Khan's
Athena is a weird black, one of the weird black women. You know, black people come in different types of personalities. You have me, the one that's, as people say, the extravagance, quote unquote. They try to call me ghetto, but that's what they use.
Oh, the code language within that, yeah.
You have different types, and she's one of the ones. She's a gamer. She's a nerd, and she went to Duckville.
Let's just point out the obvious. I mean,
she's you know, she's one of the weird.
No, she's married to a white man,
which is fine. She's like Doja Cat, and that's fine. Like that's fine. So just let her be her. Like Athena can go in the ring. Promo wise, she's always been awkward, and
yes.
Even in WWE or her indie work, she's always kind of been awkward. But that's okay. It's a lot of awkward black women. Issa Rae, but she's very successful, and I love Issa Rae. Like Athena. You know what? Like my girl Shanti said, you better capitalize off of One Honey.
Yeah, and
capitalize off of it.
Well, a lot of times AEW is smart enough to do that. Again, the Ass Boys, Arn Anderson with the gun in his hand. They will make One Hundy shirts, or at least
capitalize off that One Hundy.
Like,
keep it 100. I'm gonna start saying.
But you would point out again, which is the obvious. It's that it's Jade and Brandy, and then it's now Athena and Jade, and then what was better? At least they ended it well with Anna Jay coming out and staring down Red Velvet, and then Chris the Stallion coming out staring down Jay Cargill, and that's a 6-woman tag that would be interesting. Probably I'd say in the next few weeks we'll be seeing that as the baddies take on this trio, but. Athena again.
Pop every time Chris the Stallion comes out. I'm just like, oh, I can't wait.
But as we talked about last week, Athena Jade is first up, which is Athena. Is Athena going to be the one to take it off Jade?
No, she's gonna kick it off because they've been having that Twitter exchange back and forth. Yeah. So it's gonna be Athena versus Jade. She's gonna lose to Jade, and then the next up because like the bracket, Chris the Stallion is on the bracket now.
I definitely think Athena's the type of wrestler that can probably get the best match out of Jade. It's very similar to Thunder Rosa, like her style of being agile and bumping all over the place and top rope maneuvers. It'll be a good match. It'll probably be one of Jade's best matches going to happen.
Athena is going to be the test so Jade can be ready for Chris the Stallion because Chris the Stallion can go.
Well, that match is it's Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns. It's Big E. It's just two women, two tall, strong, beautiful women just throwing me.
So much thighs.
But I mean, we saw Stokely Hathaway in action too, and him being the advisors of Jade and the baddies as well. So we'll be able to talk more in depth.
So bad.
We'll be able to talk about this more in depth once we cover Athena and Kiera Hogan. So what's next after this?
Next, Banks. Hit it with the next.
This is probably your favorite story. Your favorite story in AEW, I think, is Christian Jungle Boy. Am I wrong?
It's one of my favorites. If you don't know, we don't have a video because copyrights. We ain't trying to deal with that. But if you're listening, what had happened after the match of the it was a 6-man tag.
No, if it was 10-man, it was 10-man. It was the Jurassic Express, which is Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, Christian. It was Matt Hardy and Darby Allin against Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, the Bucks, and Hikuleo, who son of Haku, Tama Tonga, and Tangaloa's youngest brother.
When did they is he part of the Elite? I was confused.
He's part of the Bullet Club, so they had, like Excalibur said, Adam Cole.
I thought he didn't get kicked out, did he?
No, he chose Jay White over his brothers. Him and Jay White had a match.
He did.
Jay White beat him, and he put up the 2-sweet with Jay White, and he said, "You're smarter than them."
That's right.
No, that was what was interesting about that story. Is like he chose again, like obviously blood isn't thicker than the Bullet Club or whatever. Like everyone's family till they ain't.
Facts. But if you're watching, and what had happened was after the match, they lost, of course. I want to say Jungle Boy took the pin. Was it Jungle Boy that took the pin?
He might have, yeah. Yeah.
So what had happened was Matt Hardy accidentally hit Jungle Boy, but it was one of those, them tricky heel moves or whatever.
Yeah, because I think the Bucks pinned Jungle Boy, and they were like, "We just the champs." Yeah.
And after the match, Matt Hardy, gave him a hug and apologized. And then you see Christian get up and looked at him and push Matt off, like, get off of him and grab him.
It's Banks will get this. It was the Isaiah Thomas, Chris Paul, DeMarcus Cousins incident where Chris Paul and Isaiah Thomas step up after that, and then DeMarcus says, "The fuck you doing? Like, get over here!" And Isaiah Thomas,
get off of him.
Like, that's what it was. It was like, don't fraternize with the enemy, because there was a moment in the match when Matt Hardy wanted the tag from Christian. The whole time Christian's like, and like tags because it called back to their feuds and all that, but no one should shake Matt Hardy's hand anyway. Just like get away from Matt Hardy as far as possible.
Children, if you listening, you should know that Christian and Matt Hardy go way back on the freaking TLC days. So they have history. So they did a little nice love.
Christian should be like, "Hey, my brother like stole your girl. Like, so that means I don't fuck with you either." Like, Christian
and Jeff was on the same page. They was like, we mind our business on this. Christian seen Lita get on Edge, but was just like, all right, that ain't none of my business.
I guess the thing we're forgetting about this match is, again, Jeff Hardy and Adam Cole were initially announced to be part of this match. Mm-hmm. Jeff Hardy got pulled because he's looking rough these last 2 weeks.
He's still Adam booked for next weekend, too. They had
in AAA, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
They still. That's a better. They'll probably end up last minute then.
Hang him up.
Still booked.
Hang him up.
They still booked for it. They still advertising it.
Adam Cole just seems like kind of load management. Kawhi Leonardist, like just take it easy after the last few weeks. Yeah. He's kind of been going at it since the first Hangman Page match. He's been wrestling since he got to AEW.
Yeah, because that match that he had with Samoa Joe, he had to relax. Like, okay, you know what? You need to just relax until Forbidden Door.
Which he'll probably one of the showcase matches with whoever they have. I mean, and they can throw him in fucking Will Ospreay or something like that as like the surprise, just random fantasy booking Forbidden Door match, because there's not much of this card yet, which is the disappointing part with it only being, 20 days away now.
If you're listening, understand that Adam Cole has been the king of Rampage since he got in AEW. He's always been booked at Rampage. He's been wrestling since he got there. So, yeah, he deserves a little break.
The pillars of Rampage are Ricky Starks, Adam Cole.
Jay Carly.
We had to say, Jay Carly, though she's kind of moving more towards Dynamite now, which makes sense because of the TBS title.
Yeah, but before that, she was always on Rampage.
Yeah, she was always on Rampage, and kind of Hook as well.
Yeah.
Who we haven't seen, we didn't see this week. But maybe they'll get back to Hookhausen and what will be going on there next week.
He's booked for some indie stuff too, so that's probably why too. I saw him advertise for like 2 indie shows. I want to. I can't recall. I know one of them is like in New York and another one is somewhere else. So that's probably it too.
All right, next,
Banks. Bret Hart.
Well, we already kind of covered the Bret Hart boys.
We talked about Bret Hart boys.
You should really talk about what is really next, which is Thunder Rosa, and what's kind of going on with Thunder Rosa.
Apparently, she's frustrated about not being, showcased like Britt Baker and also Jade Cargill. I've seen a lot of people saying put her on TV more. She's been on TV. The issue is y'all ain't been seeing it because y'all don't fucking watch. So y'all just assume that she's not on TV, but she is. The thing is though, Thunder Rosa is nothing against her, but at the same time, it's just like you're the champion, but you also have stars. Jay Cargill and Britt Baker, unfortunately, are the mainstream stars right now. And, it is what it is. It's business purposes, because at the same time, we always said AEW need that mainstream star and stuff like that. And unfortunately, yes, it's Britt Baker and it's Jade Cargill. And for more reasons, is Britt Baker. Britt Baker merch sales and she draws. Jade Cargill, her merch sales and she draws. Thunder Rosa, we love you. She's a great wrestler. If people, and I say it all the time, you can't say put this person on TV and support this person, but then when it comes down to it, you're not supporting that person and you're not tuning in. Like her demo, every time they show the demo chart, Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb, their chart was probably low. You know, you can't say that you want better for Thunder Rosa if you're not watching her. You have to, it has to match. The math has to match. When it comes to Jade Cargill, her promos, her demo is up. When it comes to Britt Baker, her demo is up. Both of them is up in merch sales. Both of them is up in viewer sales. So people watch both of them. So if Warner Media sees that, of course they're going to want to invest more in Britt Baker and Jade Cargill. That's just what it is. That's just the business part. It's up to the fans to be like, okay, if we want to support Thunder Rosa, we going to buy her merch. Y'all not buying her merch. Buy her merch. Y'all not tuning in to her matches. Even she had probably one of the, like I said the last time, one of the best women's matches there was. Demo-wise, the math ain't matching. Like, you can't say we want Thunder Rosa on TV, but you're not supporting her when she is on TV. It has to match. Like, you have to match what you're saying. And it's nothing against her, but if they are seeing, hey, Britt Baker is on ESPN. Britt Baker, she making some, like when she at them Pittsburgh games, they know who she is. Like,
they hammer that home hard, though.
They going hard.
They hammer that home hard.
Jade Cargill is starting to make more noise in the black media circuit. She's, being on the Roots, being on different platforms. So she's starting to get her name out there. Essence magazines and things like that. She's Fenty ambassador. So, I mean, we can't, I love Thunder Rosa. I'm a fan. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's not, nobody's trying to knock you. But you did say, this is a new era for the women's division in AEW. Let Jade Cargill and Britt Baker get those ratings, get those interest up for the women's division so people can put their eyes on you. It's a team thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just use that. Hey, Britt Baker and Jay getting them views. Okay, let them get them views. So when I am booked and when I do have a match and when I do cut promos, I can use that so they can see me too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to come automatically because you're champion.
The unfortunate part is how this is similar to the Hangman Page discussion that we had last week, where they're looked at poorly because of how they're booked in between their programs. Again, like Thunder Rosa only had one match in between winning the title and Serena Deeb. That was against Nyla Rose. She was on TV maybe 2 times in between building up the match promo-wise, but Hangman Page very similar. Like, if he wasn't wrestling Adam Cole in a tag match or the title matches, he wasn't doing nothing. They gave him one random Lance Archer match and then kind of building up the CM Punk feud was him and Takeshita and then him and Dante Martin. Which is to show, like, Hangman Page is still around. But this goes to the whole babyface argument that you've, been preaching about. And others as well, but you're saying no one will root for the babyface because them going out every week and either defeating challengers in a show of sportsmanship or overcoming the odds, or just saying like, hey, I'll take on anyone at any time. It can be boring to some.
Yeah, majority.
If they're not a fan of it, because again, the way we've been watching wrestling since Stone Cold Steve Austin, all that, not to bring that all back again, but Thunder Rosa is right to be frustrated. The only women's match on Dynamite was the tag match with Ruby Soho and Toni Storm against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and that's a story that's been going on because AW is trying to do at least 3 women's stories a week now. The title, both titles, and then a random one. And this kind of Ruby Soho, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm revolves around the Owen Hart tournament, and kind of the still teasing of Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter's friendship alliance might be ending. Ruby Soho got the win, so everyone can kind of relax about how they built her up to beat Chris Statlander. Then she just lost to Britt Baker anyway, but at least she won this tag match, and Toni Storm's got to look impressive because, again, like, she really should have been the person that won the tournament anyway, or should be next in line for Thunder Rosa, which probably will happen. It's, again, like, we just came off the pay-per-view, so, and this, I mean, there probably won't be a match at Forbidden Door for them. So we have a little bit of time till All Out for them to get settled on what Thunder Rosa will be doing. But it's also not a good look that she isn't even on either show to at least talk about Serena Deeb and all that. It's just not a good look in general. So I can see why she's frustrated and why there would be criticism about how Britt Baker is constantly being on TV. It's the John Cena syndrome of John Cena's there whether he's a champ or not. He's always in the prime time spot.
Right. Because they built her up. They built Britt Baker up as the main draw from day one. She was always at the upfronts. She was always on the match cards and she still isn't good, but when she wasn't good, she was someone they were locked in and invested in since day one. And that's the unfortunate part is we've kind of seen that now when she was champ in that extended run as champ. Well, they've got kind of these better women in the wings, Serena Deeb, Red Velvet's coming up. They got Athena now. Jay Cargill again will be their dominant star once the TBS title gets off her. Chris the Stallion and Toni Storm and all that. So it'll be interesting going forward. But right now, I think she's right to be frustrated with how her title reign's been looked at. It's the same thing why Hangman Page might have been frustrated with the whole situation, how it plays out with this man's injured now. So he's like, I just lost the title for fucking nothing. Like. But we'll get into that when we get to Rampage. But yeah, because I'm gonna say Hangman is more of he's just like everybody. He likes being champion. He just doesn't like the spotlight of it. The center of attention.
He's
one of those
old school approaches as a wrestler.
I don't like being center. I just want to wrestle. I do want to be champion, but I don't like being the face because you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do.
Sometimes you need both too.
Right, and that's how Adam Page is. He always said it. He's just like, I don't want to do it.
and that's what I've said about Roman Reigns the last few years. Like Roman Reigns, no offensive, like he's not an interesting guy outside of WWE. In WWE, he is that guy. Especially now as the tribal chief, like he, again, is the needle mover. But him on like late night shows or all the other, like it just doesn't seem interesting compared to someone like a Big E or a Sasha Banks or someone who has a personality. I'm not saying that Roman Reigns doesn't, or maybe he puts on a different personality for that. It wasn't like I don't. You're better in the ring. You're better when you're this guy.
That's how Adam.
And that's how he like. I mean, if he were to go on,
I like being champion. I like. I like to wrestle, but as far as you have to be the face of the company, I don't want that pressure.
I once compared him to Madison Bumgarner, who used to pitch for the Giants, and like Bumgarner would like throw 3 or 4 beers after like they won a playoff game, and they kind of like this similar like long hair look and do like cowboy shit. And Bumgarner's the same. Like I show up to pitch, and like outside of pitching, I do all this like stuff on my farm, and I rope cattle and all that. Like that's what Hangman Page does. Like he said, like I have a life outside of wrestling, but I'm the best wrestler.
Exactly. That's
into these ropes.
The more like when I used to watch the BT,
and he's an everyday champ.
Yeah, he was one of those like I enjoy this, but it's not. It's more to this. It's more to life than just wrestling.
The Young Bucks are the same way. Like, because they don't have the personalities to go and do all these shows, but they also don't want to do it either.
It's like I have more to like, and then he had a baby too, so it's just like I'd rather be a dad at home. I don't want to be. So I think that's probably why he was okay with dropping it to CM Punk, because it's just like CM Punk is built to be a face of a company because he's used to doing that.
CM Punk wanted to do all that, and WWE would give his opportunities to other people. If you listen to the our wrestling podcast I did with Cole Cabana, where he said like I had this and this and this, and they gave it to Randy Orton, they gave it to this person. So like I wanted to do all these things, but they only want certain people to be. Yeah,
this is for CM Punk, because even when Kenny Omega talked about it, and he said, when they told Adam Page, okay, we're going to do this because you're going to be champion one day. And he like Adam, this is your time to be champion. Like, Adam Page is like probably one of the most humblest guys there is out there because he's just like,
They all believe that he was the next guy up, but only I think as a wrestler, because he
could have been. He's just one of those. He's comfortable at. He's just comfortable at. I'm just comfortable wrestling. I don't have to be. You don't have to make me that person. Mm-hmm. But everybody sees it in him, so it's just like you need to be champion. At least just be champion because he's going to be champion again. So it's just like. I want to be champion. He's just like, I want to be champion, but do I have to do this? Do I have to do why? I don't. Okay, whatever. Like, he barely on Twitter. He's barely on Instagram.
Which also adds to the appeal. Again, like, he's a cowboy. Like, again, if it's character, not everyone has to be the Miz as a champion. Not everyone has to be. No, you know what I'm saying? Not everyone has to like go to every show and talk to everyone, or all they do is and get. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are like. Ricky Starks should be that person who, if he was champ, could go to talk to GQ, can go and talk to that talk show host. Like, he has that personality, and is into, Drake and is watches Euphoria and all of that. Kyle spoke about the fact he is someone who was able to, I think, balance the media world that comes with wrestling. Hangman Page is a wrestler at the end of the day, which is what AEW prides itself on being the wrestling company. So you need the wrestler as your champion.
The only time you see Adam Page really say something on Twitter is if somebody just says some downright bullshit. Like, it got something to do with some like when he came for Kane like that. I was like, damn, okay.
Well, we kind of forgot.
Like, racism, what? I don't stand for that. I don't stand like he stands for the people when it's time to stand for the people. Then he disappeared after that.
One thing we forgot on the docket with, just to talk about it briefly, is Wardlow. He just had a quick squash match, and they might be running an angle with him and Smart Mark Sterling. Again, his future post MJF will be interesting. You and I kind of briefly talked about it last week. Do we see him as a TNT title contender, or as a world title contender?
Of course.
They're giving him much like how they're doing with Jay Cargill and Hook. They're giving him the Goldberg treatment. He's going to show up, kill people, leave. He has the long entrance now. We'll just have to. I also wanted you to get that in, just so you could have.
Sorry.
Chime in. No. I mean, again, someone who we talked about last week he's someone they should be investing time in as well. When MJF is talking about getting passed over, in a way, he's kind of fighting for Wardlow as well. The Wardlows, the people that have been there since day one, in a way, the up and comers. Wardlow's going to get passed over by Moxley or CM Punk or whoever. It would be an unfortunate thing, but this is still early stages of the Wardlow we'll now be seeing. And then the show ended. Jon Moxley, Daniel Garcia. This was kind of Moxley's version of the Wheeler Yuta match, where he's going to put this kid over, make him look strong, compared to the first time he just beat Daniel Garcia's ass. And you've been kind of championing Chris Jericho's mentorship of Daniel Garcia in the JAS. This was a good match, and it mainly set up Blood and Guts. We had forgot that earlier tonight that Eddie Kingston by himself challenged the JAS to Blood and Guts. This ends with Moxley saying he'll be joining Kingston's team. So
Blood and Guts.
Blood and Guts, as William Regal said. The first Blood and Guts match was all right. Again, it's just War Games. There's nothing wrong with War Games.
It was all right. It was good.
Not compared to the NXT War Games that I've gone on the last 5, 6.
God. Get over it. It's over with.
But no, now I'm wondering, like, all right, because Bryan Danielson's injured for about 2 weeks, they've said. He might be back in time for this match, but Wheeler Yuta should be coming back from Japan. I'd like to see him play a part in this match. And they also set up Ortiz versus Chris Jericho in a hair versus hair match, which I'm like, another one? Like, we had Jack Evans versus Orange Cassidy in a hair versus hair match. I don't think you should.
Margot might cut his hair again. I don't know.
Nah, I think it's going to be Ortiz. Because it's kind of like they're going to build up Chris Jericho as like this asshole heel who will get his come up in some blood and guts, like he did last year. He got pushed off the top. So I obviously he'll beat Ortiz like through some bullshit and all that. Ortiz will have to cut his hair. So that'll like fuel the fire of Ortiz, Santana, Kingston, Moxley to then like beat
I
all their
don't think
asses.
so. I think Jericho might cut his hair.
I don't think he can at this age. He's got to be careful.
He's gonna get the low fade.
He's gonna get the edge.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's gonna cut his hair. I don't know.
We'll have to keep an eye on that Jericho hair watch, 2022.
His hair is thinning, so he's probably gonna end up cutting it.
It's not thinning really. It just for men probably isn't helping.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's probably gonna end up cutting it. He's probably like, you know what? We gonna do her because I'm probably.
Yeah, that was a stupid thing about what Edge did
to get ready for that tour.
Oh yeah, well I mean that's the thing. So that Blood and Guts will probably be his break, and then he'll come back
because he had to reschedule that tour because he got sick real bad.
Why did he get sick? Because he didn't get the vaccine. And that ended Dynamite. It was an alright Dynamite.
He had to, next Rampage.
Well, and real quick, we forgot to talk about the dope stage they had, which I thought was going to be their stage.
I like the LED lights. They got to bring it. They had it before in 2019. I'm glad they bring it back. So bring it back. Keep it.
That whole setup, too, the way the both entrances were set up, that might have just worked because the Forum is such an old school venue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they need to keep that. I always like the LED lights. Yeah. That's my goat. I'm gonna do an episode on him.
I won't be there for that one. Even though I don't hate Chris Jericho, I'm just saying I won't be there just to hear you.
That's all right. I got somebody. I got somebody for it. We both Jericho stands.
All right. So how did Rampage kick off with?
Let's go to Rampage.
Probably your two favorite tag teams in wrestling, right?
Yes.
Better than the Usos?
Of course. What? First of all, the chemistry, the in-ring chemistry that these two, they've been wrestling each other for a long time. They have great chemistry with one another. They gonna always have some good chemistry. Similar
to the Usos in the New Day, Bucks, Lucha Bros is always a banger, no matter what. No matter the stipulation.
I agree.
No matter if it's a TV match or pay-per-view match, they always deliver. Yeah. And this one, again, with the Bucks with the California gear, the gear that had the California flag on it, I like that with being a California native. And again, when Penta always starts off the match doing like 5 minutes of taunting with the walk.
Yep.
And then he takes off the one glove finger by finger just to throw it down. That's always, I think, like their go-to spot. Similar like the New Day and Usos will always run their spot, just like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will always throw like a hockey punches at each other whenever they have a match. You can't go wrong when Penta just like takes his time taunting, and the Bucks throw the Elite in his face.
He's probably the most charismatic luchador of this generation. It's like Penta is one of the ones he doesn't have to fully speak English to be charismatic. It's just the way that he is.
Which is why I hate Alex being primarily with him, is because I'd rather Penta just speak Spanish to me.
No, Alex is clutch. Alex, listen. Alex, no. But behind the scenes, Alex.
Oh, no, yeah.
He really does.
I'm just saying on TV, I just would rather Penta be by.
I mean, I get it.
Be by himself and like talking Spanish and be like, I don't know what he's saying, but like, I'm intimidated. Like I fear for the other person because like this dude's gonna fuck them up. Like, and then we had Nick Jackson and Ray Phoenix. They always do their thing. They had one of the great matches in early Dynamite history when they went 1-on-1. I think that was that right before COVID or right when COVID first started. They put on a banger.
It was before COVID.
It was right before COVID.
Before COVID.
Again, like Excel versus like they're the younger brothers of the groups, so they always got to prove themselves. And Nick Jackson can fly all over, and so can Phoenix. You just can't go wrong with this match. And it's interesting to be like, are they setting up the Bucks for another title run? Because then we had Starks and Hobb in a squash match that we didn't need. It was just one of those Tony Khan overbooks Rampage just to overbook it because they could have given more time to Athena and Kiera Hogan. But Starks and Hobbs got a quick win, and again, they're still kind of number one contenders for Jurassic Express.
I don't think they will get the tag titles. I really do think that they may give it to Ricky and Hobbs.
Yeah.
Just because they didn't take that pin. So because they didn't take that pin to keep them on the the starting. So I feel like they may be next up. At first, I thought it. To me, honestly, it probably was going to go to the Acclaim, but Anthony got hurt. So I think it's going to be Ricky and Hobbs. The Acclaim gonna get they moment soon.
Yeah.
Because the Acclaim is gonna be next up. The way that I was paying attention to the rotation, it's like it was probably gonna be the Acclaim gonna be next because Acclaim kind of worked their way to be the next baby faces anyway. But Anthony Bones is hurt, so I really feel like Hobbs and Ricky is gonna be the next tag champions soon. Maybe it All Out.
I don't want to be mad at it. They had that again, like their promo was longer than their match, and they basically just said like we were kind of next up anyway. I think that's the thing. Like the tag division is so stacked, and is rather, even though I'd like to see Ricky Starks compete for the TNT title,
either them or Red Dragon, either one.
Well, that's what I'm like. So what do the Bucks do now? In the meantime, we'll see. They'll probably have a match at Forbidden Door against the tag team too. But yeah, I mean, this match ended. They took off Penta's mask. He had to cover his face, and they super kicked. They both super kicked. It was just that was humiliation. Brutal,
but like I was telling, because they keep hinting that they're not gonna do this forever. So yeah, I think the Bucks gonna call it quits soon.
Oh, wait, I've kind of thought that for a while too.
They're gonna call it quits soon. They keep saying it. They keep hinting it. Like y'all better enjoy us while y'all can. Like they keep saying it. So I feel
or at least do like the Chris Jericho 6 months on, 6 months off, 6 months on, 6 months off. They might do something like that. Because I think as long as AEW is around and they can go, they'll still want to put people over and work with people, and all that. Like so, they tried to put Private Party on. I wish that would have stuck a little bit better. They're the first. That's how they claimed debuted was against them. When they were, I think they just become tag champs. They had they were doing that open challenge.
What's his name? He kept getting hurt though. What's his name?
The Top Flight too. Darius Martin. They put them on too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was Mark Quinn was the one who.
Yeah, Mark Quinn is injury prone, so it's kind of hard to because I know what you're saying because around 2019 2020, Private Party was winning like a lot of matches, but then Mark Quinn kept getting hurt, so it's just like, bro, we can't. We want y'all up next, but we need both of y'all.
Wasn't maybe Isaiah Cassie because Mark Quinn did have the one match against Cody for the TNT title. It could have been one of them got in. I think it might have been an FTR thing too, where one of them got injured, came back, and then the other one got injured. But it's unlike Top Flight, where Darius Martin is the one who has gotten injured and then gotten injured again, where Dante Martin is almost looking better off as a solo star. Sad to say. We'll get to that as the Rampage main event. But Athena, Kiera Hogan, I don't know, I was kind of let down by this match in a way. I just maybe think they didn't click as much.
They never. It was real beef. Remember?
I've heard that, but I never really paid attention to that. I think you might have said that during the week.
The beef is women business.
I'll stay out of it.
It was basically Kiera was like, she didn't get that same hair color until I get it. Amber was like, I've been had this hair color. It was one.
Wasn't that the same thing with Sasha Banks as well with Kiera Hogan?
Something like that.
Yeah.
All men should stay out of women business.
Yeah, it was some real beef. I don't think they ever kind of like made up. It was a business move. Like, hey, you gonna face Kiera? Kiera's probably just like, I don't like that girl, but I'll do it. Amber was probably like, I don't, because Amber had shaded her too. So that's why I thought it was kind of interesting when they matched them up. I was like, they had real beef. They really gonna.
Well, that's what sucked about, and not to like revisionist. When I not to dive back in the past, but like Joey Janela, Kip Sabian, they just kind of threw that story to dark instead of putting it on Dynamite. Like, you think a guy going on to marry the girl that the one guy used to date would and manage be like a story you'd want to tell on TV, but they just like threw it to the wayside.
That's what people need to pay attention. Kip Sabian is coming. I can't wait. I can't wait till he comes back because I like what he's doing right now.
I had briefly mentioned it earlier when we were talking about
I like
Miro.
what he's doing right now.
But he showed up with
I miss him and Penelope. I really do miss him.
Yeah, and she's someone who I like because she's agile and she kind of brings a different element to the women's division.
Yeah, I can't wait. She if Sammy and Tay Conti have a AEW type wedding, that's who I need them to.
Oh, we forgot to talk about that.
Shit up. I need them to mess it up.
So it was on Friday, right? Yeah, they announced that. It was reported that Sammy Guevara and Team Z announced Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti are engaged. And I just gotta say, when this man proposed to Pam on that episode of Dynamite, I was like, this is the fakest thing in wrestling history. Because I saw him propose to her and I'm like,
that thing got some power to it.
And then he goes on to win the title. I'm like, so they wanted to make this douchey asshole, this babyface champ because he proposed to his girlfriend, then he beats the big bad strong guy.
That shit is in a like 9-month time span. You propose twice.
Men are hoes.
Yeah,
we are. I can say it. But yeah, I mean, then he did the whole like me and Pam, we're not together anymore. And then they had like he had posted the clip of Tay Conti where like, people think we're screwed, and she's like, really? And then it was like,
right. That's why everybody's so
anyone with two working, not to quote evil, I got 2 eyes, 2 ears, and a developed frontal lobe. Y'all two have been fucking.
Sammy, if you ever listen to the show, this is why people are upset at you because you made it seem like y'all was just friends, and the whole time you was in them cheeks. Which, I mean, if you're grown, you're grown, but tell the truth. That's it. Like, if you would have been like, I'm smashing, okay. But the fact that you lied and made it seem like y'all was just friends, that's what not make it okay. Because it's some hurt women. We done been through that.
Yeah, don't propose to someone.
And then plus the Sasha thing, too, so.
Yeah, well, that's something else entirely. Yeah, but don't propose to someone for you to be a better character, and then take it back 4 or 5 weeks later, and then 3 weeks later it comes out that you and her have been together. It's a whole thing.
If you're listening to the show, I'm gonna give you something like this: the grass is never green on the other side. It may be cool right now because you're in the honeymoon stage. But that karma comes, and when it comes hard. It's going to come 10 times harder. So, no, if Tay Conti want to say that Pam is okay with them, but I'm a woman. Ain't no woman okay with that.
Yeah. I was about to say, yeah, that's just...
You proposed to her at Paris, and you proposed to her at AEW with her teacher dress on. Ain't no woman okay with that.
No, that's what I mean. The whole time I was like, this is the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. Because this poor woman is being used as a prop for this guy to be a babyface. Now it's like, this man should never be a babyface. Look at him. No one likes this guy. He's a great
lady. Held you down from the beginning. She held you down from the beginning. God don't like ugly, Sammy.
Yeah. But
Sammy moving like.
No, say. Are you gonna say like Lori Harvey? Is that what you're gonna say?
Sammy moving like Future. Go on and give it away.
Let's move on to the announcement of the week. No, not this.
Not
this
that one.
Yeah.
Banks. Come on, Banks.
That your favorite image, Banks. Your favorite image.
Summer of Punk is canceled. We stepping into the summer of Moxley again. It's got to be 2020 again.
I mean, hey, they wanted to give Drew McIntyre his run. He'll probably get his run at the end of the year. His proper run with some crowds. Moxley's going to get his.
Listen, this is an AEW show, but I'm going to get my joke off. Listen, Drew McIntyre was doing this. He was like, I'm back to babyface.
Yeah.
Back to the babyface of the company, not that other guy.
No, Oh, you know what's going on today? Listen, that man.
Listen,
right.
CM Punk. It was all good just a week ago.
Basically,
Summer of Punk is canceled. If you don't know what I don't know where he got injured, but he's out due to an injury. He's supposed to be out not too long, but long enough that he won't be on Forbidden Door. Banks, can you pull the picture up so we can explain it like people are six? Because I'm still confused.
Well, they did a bad job about this. So CM Punk says, "I'm injured.
Leave it up.
I'm gonna have to get surgery." So it's kind of like, oh shit, this guy might have to relinquish the title at the end of Rampage, in kind of the middle of the Dante Martin Scorpio Sky match. I mean, like those poor fucking guys, they couldn't catch a break,
right?
Because this just killed the momentum of their match. Is that Excalibur is trying to explain that Tony Khan has said there will be an interim challenger in the meantime while CM Punk gets his surgery to then recover. So Excalibur says Jon Moxley will face the winner of a battle royal at the start of next week's Dynamite, which is this week's Dynamite, of course. And so the next day, Tony Khan goes and says he prints a whole document to be like, Jon Moxley's the number one contender. He has an automatic bid. The winner of this battle royal will face Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi, since he had basically called out CM Punk, kind of was in line for this title shot. And then they throw in poor Hiroki Goto, who is basically like the Finn Balor of New Japan. He just is set up for guys to get wins over. Because, Hiroki Goto lost like 4 New Japan Cup finals in 5 years. Like Tanahashi beat him, Okada beat him, Naito beat him, Ibushi
Everybody
beat him.
and their mama beat him.
He is the guy that Kenny Omega beat to win G1, and that's what kicked off Kenny Omega's legendary run from then on as the top foreign star New Japan. So Hiroki Goto is basically like the setup man, this poor fucking guy. And he's a good wrestler.
He's just a jobber.
It's just like he's just the good hand. He's what Cody Rhodes is. Like, you just set guys up to, so they can get wins over you. But so him and Tanahashi, you should never gamble on wrestling. But if you can gamble on this match, pick Hiroshi Tanahashi. Put your house on Hiroshi Tanahashi, because there is no way in hell Hiroki Goto is winning this match.
And this is on June 12th. That match with New Japan.
That will be at Dominion.
And what Drip said with the Moxley and the winner of the Battle Royal will be on the June 8th. And of course, the winner of the Battle Royal and Jon Moxley will face each other. The winner of that will be the finalist in the Forbidden Door against the winner of Tanahashi and Goto, which will be Tanahashi anyway. So it will end up being Moxley versus Tanahashi. I'm gonna put it like that because we're in the summer of Moxley. Moxley got to save the summer because everybody and their mama injured.
And I think anyone who's been watching New Japan and AEW at the same time knows that Jon Moxley has been calling out Hiroshi Tanahashi for like a year and a half.
Yep. So we getting it.
He had said something one time like, "Do I have to send a fax to New Japan to get this match with you?" He beat. This is when he was still IWGP US champion. He'd beaten Yuji Nagata. He'd beaten Kojima. He'd beaten Kenta. But he said, like, the one match I want is Tanahashi. And then kind of in the middle of this, they threw Will Ospreay at him, and they started that whole beef with the Seth Rollins aspect. And so Tanahashi Moxley is what it is. But who do we think will win this? Who do we think will win this battle royal, though? I had kind of said Miro earlier, but do we think Hangman Page can win and we get Moxley Hangman Page, which was the other option?
Well, Hangman is has a match against someone else, and it's not.
He's wrestling David Finlay. Yeah,
it's not.
What a waste.
So Moxley's Hangman is not in it.
Yep.
I don't think they listed who was all going to be in it. We'll know Wednesday, this coming Wednesday.
What if it's MJF? He wins the battle royal, then he beats Tanahashi and he wins the AEW title.
Tony be like, "Her, stop crying."
I think that's how he would book it. Like, the guy who wants to leave wins the title. But no, realistically, I think it's Moxley Tanahashi, like we said. So the interim title, what does interim mean? So as long as CM Punk is out, this person will temporarily be the champion. And they probably won't flip the interim title. It happens in UFC where if a fighter gets injured, they'll throw an interim title fight, and that person is temporarily the champion until that fighter can come back. And
yeah, that's what they're doing.
Those two will face off and be the undisputed AEW champion.
From what I read, whoever wins that title, it will end up being them versus CM Punk at All Out.
Yeah,
because that's the one CM Punk is expected to be okay by that time. But of course, me and you will get this because we watch New Japan. New Japan do this too. Like we're up to the G1 tournament and stuff like that. They do this all the time. So if you're one of the ones that just a strictly WWE fan, of course you're not gonna understand this. But this is a sport thing. So being that AEW is considered a sport now, to their network, this is what they're doing. This is the best that we could explain it to you. We explained it to y'all like y'all was 6. If y'all don't get it, then I'm sorry.
It's like, remember when CM Punk, he beat John Cena at Money in the Bank. Mm-hmm. They crowned a new champion with this tournament. Then Rey Mysterio won it, and then poor fucking Rey Mysterio lost to John Cena within the hour. John Cena wins. CM Punk comes back. It's what happens when there is a disputed champion. You know, when like Shawn Michaels relinquished the title due to injury, and Razor Ramon had the ladder match. It's basically in the meantime, Jon Moxley will be this champion.
Right.
What if it's fucking Hiroshi Tana? I'd be shocked if they actually let him win. But Jon Moxley will be this champ. It'll pay off again, him not being able to have fans in the crowd when he was champ because COVID was going on. And Punk Moxley will be this match to who will be the real champion at the end of the day. Like, so if CM Punk were to win, his title reign will officially keep going. If Moxley were to win, his title reign would now officially be counted. He would be the 6th champion, the 6th title reign, but the second person to ever have 2 reigns. That's how it kind of works. Like I said, it's more common in UFC. Banks is a boxing fan. I don't know if they really done interim champion in boxing, but the UFC does a lot because fighters will get injured kind of at the last second. And they'll use that as a draw to sell pay-per-views as, the interim title fight and then sell the rematch. Sell the actual title fight once it happens. John Jones, Daniel Cormier, their whole rivalry was built upon interim champion because John Jones would get suspended. Daniel Cormier was the interim champ the whole time until they finally had their fight. But so, like I said, I said Miro, but who do you think wins the battle royal to face Moxley?
They didn't say who I was in it, so
you can't even take a guess. Just a random.
I'm gonna say
Kenny Omega.
I wish.
What?
They probably would have got Bryan Danielson, but he's
out. Adam Cole is out. The thing about Scorpio Sky too. Scorpio Sky might have injured his ankle during that match with Dante Martin. So who knows if he might have to relinquish his. Don't forget they just did the interim title with that bullshit with fucking God. See, everywhere I go, Cody Rhodes just has to be around the corner. He beat Sammy Guevara. He couldn't make Battle of the Belts, so they made Dustin Rhodes versus Sammy interim TNT champ. That's why they had the ladder match with Cody and Sammy for the 2 TNT titles. That was stupid because you needed to make an interim champion because Cody Rhodes is going to be good the next week anyway.
Andrade.
I like that. I would like that a lot. He should be coming back from his honeymoon by now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's probably the worst person that can win it?
Darby Allin.
Don't do that. No, don't do that to me. I wish Orange Cassidy was
or Jungle Boy. Oh, is Orange Cassidy back from his arm?
I hope he is, so we can finally get Orange Cassidy, Jon Moxley. A match
that would be good.
A match we were supposed to get. A match we were supposed to get.
I miss Orange Cassidy.
In that Full Gear title eliminator. And they had that legendary face-off at the start of 2021, right? When 2020. When Jon Moxley did the hands in his pockets and just like barked at Orange Cassidy's face, like they that's a match I've been waiting for years at this point. So maybe what if Sting wins the Battle Royal?
I will be okay with that too, because Sting can go.
Sting can go too. As Cal would say, chaos. Fucking Sting won the fucking Battle Royal.
I'll be so happy. Like, there you go. Or Christian.
Yeah. No, you know what? Christian and John Moxley, yeah. That would be a real like old school, tight match.
My vet, that's a real veteran right
there. There are plenty of options. I mean, there are also plenty of wrong options.
Yeah, they got a lot of options. It could be Swerve. It can be like they have a lot of options.
They're building up Swerve with this whole mogul stuff. They had like his team, and Keith Lee. They're also teaming him and Keith Lee as individuals who will tag team for some tag team titles.
Which was smart because Keith Lee trying to get back in shape from the COVID because his health and stuff like that. So
that's Swerve and Mox. Yeah, I mean they're plenty of Wardlow.
They got plenty of people. That's why when I was on. If you follow me on Twitter, that's why I was doing all them summer because it's different options of people that can save the summer.
You get a summer.
It's so many good talented people that can save the summer. Jay White can save the summer in New Japan.
Don't tease me. He's
winning the title. I don't care. He is beating Okada.
That's what I'm saying. He can't win the Battle Royal because he'll be the current IWGP
I see what they're doing though, because Okada about to take time off because his baby coming.
Which is why we said he wouldn't get the CM Punk match.
Jay White's gonna win, and they're gonna. It's Forbidden Door about to go hard.
If you and I had our druthers and we could fantasy book anyone, a mystery person to win this Battle Royal, it would probably be our man Bandito. If we could really just like pull all the strings to like make it happen,
I would cry.
Even though I think it would be a bad match because I don't think John Moxley could have a good match with Bandito because their styles are too different. But
I would cry.
Penta, I think, would be a good choice. Malachi Black. Yeah, there are a lot of good options. Yeah. So we'll see. We're recording this on Monday. You're listening to this on Tuesday. So Wednesday night, we'll all be locked in to who's going to win this Battle Royal and face and eventually lose to John Moxley. But before we end the show, Keeks,
we're gonna
you have a special segment that you like to call what?
The fuck what awards? I was supposed to have 6, but I have what I have this time. Put up the first one, Banks. I'm going to read it out. Somebody made a meme, and it said, Cody Rhodes after tearing his pec. And then on the second picture, it has CM Punk after stubbing his toe. This is probably the wackest meme I've ever seen because an injury is an injury. A toe injury hurts, I'm pretty sure. I never had my toe hurt
I've
before.
broken a toe.
A toe injury hurts. A pec injury hurts. This is the wackest shit I've ever seen in the IWC. So the person that created this, you win the... Hold on, let me get your trophy. You win the first TWF Awards. Congratulations. Give him a hand.
Oh my God, corny, lame, bull.
There you go. Put up the second winner. Come on, Banks. Show him the second winner. The bad guy Noah from Twitter, informant number 2. He posted a meme and it said, he or she posted a meme and said, "Oh, you got a belt with CM Punk," and it says, "That's cute," with Roman Reigns, and he put Roman Reigns with the Raw champion. I mean, not the Raw. I'm sorry, WWE Championship and the Universal title.
Hey, but the irony is where Roman Reigns been at
home.
Where he at?
That was a lame ass meme. Give him your trophy. The bad guy Noah, you receive a trophy from the TWF Award. Here you go.
Oh my God, corny.
Tomatoes. Next one. Legit Lioness, the legit EST boss, an account dedicated to Mega Stallion. Put it up. It said MJF commands your attention. Hangman is just kind of there. First of all, what the fuck does that mean? That don't what?
No, so this is what we spoke to earlier, where MJF will be the loudest person in the classroom because he wants the attention. Whereas like Hangman's like, I'm just fucking here to do the work and like leave. Whereas MJF is the guy who's like, there's class going on, but let me tell you all these jokes and like disrupt the classroom.
Now I'm gonna say why I chose that screenshot. Now the day ones, we all said the same thing because the promo that MJF cut, Hangman basically cut the same shit, but to CM Punk to his face.
Yeah.
Because they said the same thing, just in different ways. MJF was more direct to the slow, and Hangman was more, he said the same thing, just used different terminology. Some people are slower than others. So Hangman is not there. You just didn't understand what he said because you need a more direct, because maybe how your brain function is not how, I don't know. Next, base. Put the next one up. Is that the next one?
I think that might be it.
That's it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all the TFW that was sent to me. TFW is not like Wrestle Cringe, but it's just more towards TFW people. Wrestle Cringe, they do theirs their way, even though they kind of losing recipes, but it's okay. Me, on the other hand, I don't mind saying these people because y'all not gonna do anything. So, these are dumb takes. These are dumb memes. These are dumb sayings. Y'all need.
They are dumb memes. Yeah, they are.
They are dumb. Y'all need to think before y'all press send. Like, does this make sense before I press send? If you know it doesn't, don't press send. We're trying.
Y'all can't beat my ass.
You can't.
Probably mine, but yeah.
None of listen, it's gender neutral over here. I'm from Dallas. Men or women. But I want to say this. So,
are you Penta? Anyone could get these super kicks.
I'm telling you,
Matt Jackson.
Shout out to Penta. These kicks are gender neutral. I didn't give a shout out to Baby Penta. Book Baby Penta all the time for y'all. I like to see Baby Penta all the time.
I wish one time they would just get in the ring and do that to like.
He's so gangsta.
If they did like a mini Mexican destroyer, just like flipped right over, like
Baby Penta be so gangsta with it. Be like,
yeah, it is one of the best things in wrestling. Yeah.
But keep Baby Penta all the time. Like just have him there all the time. Like he's adorable.
As I said, it's like when Derek Rose's son went to that one press conference and had them looks like like
he do it so hard. He said trip so hard.
I'm working on something for Cal. We might have to have a Black Rasslin podcast club about Pentagon with you, me, and Cal. Yeah.
I told Cal, like, listen, during Hispanic Heritage Month, y'all listen. Penta, I love Ray too. I love Ray.
Oh yeah,
because Penta is the older brother. It's just like,
he's the better. Again, he's the more charismatic. But again, Phoenix is in that. But when Phoenix is in that ring,
and because he's the oldest, he holds the family name. The family name. Yeah. If you follow me, I am next weekend. I am doing the spaces. Triplemania Part 2 is next weekend, and I'm doing the spaces again with the same people. An informative spaces. Penta is booked because he's part of the mask for mask tournament. He's still in it, unfortunately. I already know how it's gonna go. He's still in the tournament, so Ray is booked too. The only American wrestlers that's booked is the Hardy Boys. I don't want Jeff to wrestle because they're going against Dragon Lee and Dre Listico.
Oh, good God! Yeah,
they don't need.
Yeah,
they need to cut that.
Yeah, no. When you see how Dragon Lee moves, and I haven't seen much of Listico, unfortunately.
Dragon Lee and Dre Listico, no.
Yeah.
They need to hurry up and cancel that. They need to do.
They probably will.
Because they did it with Kenny. So yeah. So but I am hosting the spaces next weekend for the AAA. Any content creators, y'all are more than welcome to join. I know a lot of people saying they trying to put more AAA content on their thing. So y'all are more than welcome to join because they do need their flowers too. I'm glad everybody is into Jushin wrestling, but they also need their flowers too because it's a lot of people that use their stuff too. That y'all have no idea. I want to say this. I know everybody like Hulk Hogan, but without
not everyone.
Listen, I just want to say this. The whole flavor came from one man, and I always talk about him. So, AAA is important. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't watch, but people be stealing gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? They be stealing. It's some gimmick stealing. And I always talk about Fabi Apache, and she's booked. So I need y'all to watch because she's a legend. She deserves her flowers too. If you're into women wrestling, y'all need to be watching because y'all need to watch for her. And then y'all going to see what I talk about. Y'all always talk about that one spot that Sasha did at the first WrestleMania.
I always talk about the rope to rope. Yeah, DDT.
Listen, that's Fabi all day. She does that in her sleep. So, I'm not saying she stole it because Sasha has put respect on her name too. Sasha,
that's I think when she was gone, she said she picked up a lot.
Sasha Banks and Mickey James. Mickey James and Deonna Purrazzo is probably the only three that I've known that have given Fabi her credit. Of course, Tessa didn't. She can't, but Tessa can't come back to Mexico. Fabi spit on that bitch. But anyways, this is the end of the show. Tune in to Dynamite. Tune in to Rampage. If you watch BTEs, make sure you watch BTEs because that is also start to become. They're gonna make a reality series with that soon. From what I was reading from Warner Media, because that's why they kind of upped the production with it.
It makes sense. I mean, I haven't watched it since I think before the first All Out.
Drip, the production that they have been doing with them, you could tell somebody is invested.
Well, I was just like, I don't get why they're still going to do this when they have a full TV show to produce. Mm-hmm. So like, I haven't seen an episode since. I know there's stuff like Adam Cole and I did watch the opening when Adam Cole came back after All Out when they had the prayer circle to be like, we need our friend back. I watched that like opening segment and Adam Cole showed up after like they had that seance to revive Adam Cole. But I haven't seen a BTE since. I used to watch it.
I can't close the show. I haven't gained my appreciation to Young Bucks. Hold on.
Well, go ahead, do it right now.
I'm gonna do it right now. I just want to say, I know everybody don't like the Young Bucks. I get it. But Young Bucks are one of the tag teams that made tag teams relevant in this generation right now. Whether you want to admit to it or not, but they did. Y'all like Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes followed Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson's footsteps. Everywhere that they went, guess who was behind them? Adrenaline in my soul. Blah, 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 blah. Cody Rhodes. So, public enemies, especially Graham, because it's Graham, want to say, we got to be thanking Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens had to thank, he called who? Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson said, oh, word. What did Matt Jackson do? Okay. Let me call the promoter here at this. Hey, book Cody Rhodes.
When Kevin Owens,
let me call the promoter here. Hey,
of ROH.
Book Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Let me call the promoter here. Hey, book Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, that seemed like Kevin Owens, Kevin Cena at the time until like when he was on the outs with ROH, Matt Jackson and Nick, like him and the Bucks, they went to PWG again and they like ran it there. That's why them as Mount Rushmore with Adam Cole. Like it was like the first kind of version of the Elite. Funny enough, is like the forgotten part of that is when they were running Reseda when Adam Cole was still wearing bandanas on his head. looking just stupid as fuck. But yeah, they had and that's why that rivalry they had with Steven Generico and the Young Bucks once they got back. And that's why I thought he was gonna choose AEW at the end. When he was coming up for a free agency, I'm like, I bet he'd like to go there, reteam with them, maybe kind of get back to the old Kevin Owens. But I totally respect him staying in because he got both his dream matches. He got to face Brock Lesnar in that five-man match at day one, and he had the Stone Cold main event at WrestleMania Night 1. I can't fault the man.
He said that Matt and them was like, hey, if they offer you this money, go ahead. And
the money too.
Yeah, they all friends. It's just like nobody ain't you trying to feed your family. Go ahead.
Yeah. But no, the Bucks, I mean, like you said, whether you like them or not, I mean, whether you like their matches or not too. I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea, the flips and all that, the taunting, and there are times where I'm like, oh, this is great. Sometimes I'm like, eh. It also depends on who they're wrestling. Then a lot of times they can carry someone, but they're better when they have a just as good as tag team, like the Lucha Bros, Santana Ortiz,
FTR,
the Briscoes, not the no.
Yes, FTR.
Nope. Red Dragon.
Listen, I got Kiki story time. Y'all, I was in Dallas, WrestleMania weekend in Dallas. I was at ROH. If you was at ROH, you was probably one of the ones that was booing. Whatever. But after the FTR match or whatever, Young Bucks came out. I was the only one in there that was happy, and they booed me. People was booing me because I was the only one that was, woo, let's go Young Bucks. People just started booing. And if you was there at ROH, it's a lot of people that was there that contested because they was there. They heard me. Because when I go to wrestling matches, it's like football to me because I love sports. So I'm engaging in it. Phil and them can vouch because they was sitting in front of me when I was yelling the whole time. So Young Bucks came out and they was heading towards the back, and when they was doing the whole promos and stuff, and my ass, woo, let's go Young Bucks, and everybody just started booing out of nowhere. And Matt Jackson he did the whole
your man.
And I felt so happy.
That man has a wife.
Because I was like, let's go Young Bucks. And it was one lady, she was like, I'm rooting with you, but she was too scary to ride with me. So I was like, girl, you held me.
It's weird. It's an ROH show. Like that's them. Like it's thinking these are the same people that drove away. I ain't even going to get into that. Never mind. That drove away one man that everyone's cheering for now because, oh my God, he's so brave. It's like that man put himself through a flaming table 6 months ago, and the people who are like so brave were like, what an asshole. Look what this guy's doing. And now they're like, oh my.
Listen, Drew,
because I know, because I was one of those people who is like,
now, Drip, I love death matches. I've seen some brutal stuff. But what I saw yesterday, I was like,
watched it.
They didn't stop it.
I have yet to see it.
I feel sorry for him. I'm like,
no, don't feel sorry. It's not
that. It's just you're chasing acceptance still.
That's why you shouldn't feel sorry for him because this man, I'm not going to get into because we're going to have to talk about it on Black Rasslin.
Yeah, okay.
Oh gosh, just
thank y'all.
Hey.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Same as usual. Continue to subscribe to Public Enemies, subscribe to Black Rasslin Podcast, subscribe to Banks and Davis Podcast, subscribe to everybody that's very supportive. I'm going to say Talk of Champions, Backstage Brawl. It's a lot of y'all. Thank y'all for supporting. I love y'all. Make sure y'all tune in to Public Enemies and Black Rasslin Podcast. They also had say on there for Black Girl Magic. That's important. Make sure you support them. Make sure you support Banks versus Davis Podcast. Y'all can't support me and not support my dogs, point blank, period. So
yeah, and again, watch Dynamite, Rampage, so you can stay tuned the next week. Again, like maybe go back and watch old Rampages, old Dynamites, old AEW pay-per-views when Keeks has those special spotlights, because you teased Chris Jericho, a Chris Jericho themed episode. You and I might have to do a themed episode of our favorite AEW wrestlers since day one.
Yep,
that might be one for a future, because
we don't have to do
Orange
throwback.
Cassidy. Yeah, throwback Thursday type vibe to AEW in 2019. Who did we like then? Who's not there now? And all that. But like she said, stay tuned to Public Enemies. You're already watching it here. They go live every Wednesday. Black Rasslin live every Thursday. Banks versus Davis on YouTube. Where can they follow you on social media, Keeks?
Y'all can follow me at Dastardly Duo 3. If you're wondering why it's called that, because it was a podcast page. Miko let me have it because my paycheck got suspended. Dastardly Duo, we will be back. It's more of a historic podcast. Some of y'all need some history because y'all just came in and y'all just saying shit and y'all ain't been listening to shit. That's what we for. So we'll be back with a new episode. I will promote it on the Dastardly Duo page on Twitter, aka my page. It's my page. So yes.
You can follow me on Twitter at Davis, aka Drip, Instagram, Davis DC, and we'll see you next week on All Elite with Keeks.